And maybe that's just us not identifying or playing with the roles enough, but it feels like we have to go out and look for the type of things that will make this game interesting versus it being front and center. So I didn't really want to have to make this video because honestly, I am in search or in desperate need of a Destiny 2 multiplayer clone. And I really felt like this had like some of the makings of it to be that for me because honestly, I feel like say what you want about Destiny, the gameplay itself is solid and their PvP is still fun to this day. Even if you don't engage with the other stuff, the PvP itself is still fun. Understandably so, which is probably one of their bigger problems is that you can play the PvP for free. But I really wanted a PvP experience would look like without all of the extra from Destiny. And I understand this is a hero shooter, but I saw elements in it that I felt like were very Destiny like. And the floaty movement with the animations, with the type and how the gunplay even feels. Like a lot of that stuff is there. So my thought for this game is simply wait and see. I don't really want to give it a rating of is it bad or is it good because honestly, there's a lot to like about the game, but there's a lot of confusion there too. Just a lot of confusion around what it's trying to do, what it's want to be, and even with some of the decision making behind even some characters healing and some characters not to the kits they have. I'm just looking for a more streamlined approach. If every one of these players felt like the false soldier 76 in this game, I feel like that would be what I'm looking for, to be honest, but with like a very cool or aesthetically pleasing or some type of form of variety when it comes to kitting out your character versus what I'm getting. I'm not saying that the game doesn't have interesting aspects. I'm not saying that it can't be fun. Any game can be fun if you have the right friends. It's just that's just simple. But I was looking for those core elements that I can dig into that I felt like really made a difference. Um, this is probably the first time I felt like, Sony didn't hit the mark, but at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of good to like about this game. It's just that it's so wrapped up in everything else. So let me stop being vague and kind of explain why I feel like this game will fail. One, my previous point about Destiny and a lot of games being out there in the competition that are free, as well as more polished and has a audience already. Those games are going to be heavy competition for a $40 new game coming from the PlayStation. Even if they were to put it in PlayStation Plus at some time later down the line, it is building that core audience at the beginning that really sells a game and the structure and how it's going to play out over the future. There is a way for them to kind of reclaw back some space, but you have to start well in order to do that. And I think trying to get people to come back later on is going to be a problem. They need to fix the convoluted aspect of all the variants and all of that stuff. I feel like everything is overcomplicated and not deep. So it's two things, it's twofold. How can you not be deep but be complicated? Because it feels as if once I understand the character and what they can do and offer the team, it's fine. But the complication comes into the variants and all of the things that can be changed and upgraded or taken away or put on that makes it feel like, is this really worth it? Because if you overcomplicate it enough, does it even make sense to intergage with the systems? Is everybody on the same page and not engaging them? Kind of feel like the same thing with multiverses where there is a bunch of different perks, but honestly I don't feel the effects of them that often. So no, they didn't overcomplicate it. It's just simply picking some perks and you can see what they are, but they definitely didn't cater the gameplay to this. They didn't make this the whole thing. And I feel like that's what they tried to do here, where they took a very complicated, convoluted, not interesting system and tried to build a game around it when they truly should have stuck to the core gameplay, made the game fun, enjoyable, repeatable, and like get some of those fundamentals down packed, and then come back with the complication later. I just feel like it's backwards. The very sparse and not well driven stories bits that they give us, I could tell that they're going to be splicing this up over the next 20 months or 24 months, like the next 2 years, to kind of give us a story when they should learn from Destiny. Nobody likes that. I feel like they should give like a good 30-40 hours worth of cut content of story beats and things to do that kind of keep going with the story and then leave it at that. But obviously we're still in those early swings of everything, so I can't just be super annoyed with everything. But what I can say is that it is not looking like a good showing. It definitely feels like it needs some work. Graphically, it looks fine. Mechanically, it runs well. It's just everything else about it. I have never been so uninterested in characters before in my life. And I think that has nothing to do with the characters themselves or their design. I think it has a lot to do with just us being burnt out of the hero shooter, and really trying to manifest it back again is going to be tough. I felt like they should have done the generic. Like honestly, I think Destiny 2 and Destiny have made something there, and Halo has been Halo for a long time. That if someone was to come along and make a definitive like copy of what Destiny is and gameplay wise, like the floatiness, the movement, the verticality, all of that, the gameplay, the shooting. It's just if you take that and just put it in something else, I think I have a blast. But this is very much so what I think is what they thought would sell well, and I don't know if they even played it that much. The amount of aim assist in this game is ridiculous. But I get it because it's not meant to be like some super tactical. It's meant to be more more precision around what you use and your skills versus precision in shots. So I understand what they're trying to go for, and I understand the same thing happens in Destiny, but I don't know, man. I think that this is a miss. I really don't want it to fail. So my go-to plan for them in the future, this is what I think they should do in next 12 months. I think they should revamp the systems for the variants and really simplify that aspect of the game. If it is already simplified and they just think that it's supposed to be this like fun thing, they need to rework what they think is fun because it's not fun. The ability to play with your character all the time, I think that is a thing people want to do. They want to continue to play with the character they like. So providing them that option is great as well. If you don't want to do that, you need to find out a way for them to connect with the all of the characters all the time, and variants and these small snippets for the crew ain't gonna cut it. That's just not gonna happen. I would never play with a Bastion an Overwatch because I'm just not a it's like there is a level of care that comes along with how you create a hero shooter, and I feel like this was mishandled. But again, if they can get nailed to gameplay and make it fun in that aspect where you don't have to even worry about the systems, that's good enough for me. But $40 to beta test a game, especially a shooter, this ain't gonna cut it. It's just too many good options now. That's the problem. There is not enough of wiggle room here. There's not enough like space in this RAM to kind of guess at it and then come back later. You just don't have that wiggle room. This is a overpopulated genre, and that's just the truth of it. From the positives, like I said, graphics. I really like the quirkiness of the characters. Some of their specials and move sets are really cool. Um, I really like the aesthetic most of the time. Most of the maps feel fun and decent and have some verticality to them. So I love that about maps all the time. They feel very open and, really laney. So it doesn't feel like you're being stuck behind some weird object that's just in the middle of the floor or something like that. I feel like that is a key point to making a great shooter. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have. If again, I'm loving a lot of it, but it is very weird to put a game out in this state and expect results because it just doesn't feel complete. So that's just my thoughts. You know, I had a lot more thoughts on the podcast, and I'm probably going to have more to say on this game when we get back together. But overall, man, this is unfortunate. I think that this will be a disappointment for a lot of people, and it's going to be a miss. But there is some cool aspects here, and I think that's why Sony wanted to get behind it. So I'm hoping for them to kind of recover in a good way, but yeah, I'm seeing this go down the realm of the wrong, the incomplete, the not justified, and people let them have it, especially because it's a first party type situation. So, anyways, that's pretty much it. Thank y'all for watching. Let me know what y'all think about Concord in the comment section below. Like I said, it's a decent game for in a lot of degrees, but overall, it's going to probably be a miss. But let me know what y'all think. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. If you got to this part, you're the real OG. Check out the podcast if you want to actually listen to that. We drop new episodes every Wednesday. But again, thanks for watching. Peace.